Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and click the like button. In this video I will be doing a commentary as it is a famous historical place in Turkiye. It is the ancient underground city Kaymakli in Cappadocia. This ancient city is believed by historians to have been built in 7th century BC by the Indo-European people. This city has over 100 tunnels and has 8 levels. Sadly, however, only 4 are open to the public today. Here on my right, you can see the huge giant millstone door. The inhabitants rolled across the entrances, stopping any invaders from getting into the underground city and keeping the inhabitants safe underground. We are now stepping into the stable area, where they kept the animals in these small rooms created by the people by carving their living spaces into these small, giant, soft volcanic rock. You will see several beams and pillars around the underground city. This is keeping the structure safe for visitors. The historians believe the ancient cities were built by the inhabitants because they were facing religious persecution from various empires at different times. However, there is another theory that the cities were built thousands of years earlier due to the harsh climate. It does get very cold in Cappadocia in the winter time, so imagine how cold it might have been back then thousands of years previous, and the living conditions for the inhabitants in these harsh, tough terrain. The underground city is big enough to house around 5,000 people. All these tunnels lead to other tunnels that lead to other underground cities in Cappadocia. We are told there are over 200 underground cities in Cappadocia, so Cappadocia is like a huge giant labyrinth underground. There are different levels and rooms for all purposes. We have living quarters, stables for the animals, and wine cellars to store their wine. Several tunnels have been blocked and barricaded by the government, stopping the general public from going in. We are now in the kitchen area. Here is an underground stove, an ancient cooker, where they cooked their food and possibly also kept themselves warm. There is an opening at the top allowing the smoke to escape through this shaft. There are several shafts in the underground city. This is a very clever ventilation system invented by the inhabitants thousands of years ago. Here is a grinding stone the inhabitants used to grind their flour and their grain. We are heading into another narrow tunnel. So here we are in the living quarters. As you can see, there are more living spaces for the inhabitants to sleep, rest, and even hide in. There are several holes underground that lead to other tunnels or rooms or passageways. Here is another shaft allowing air into the living quarters. There is a small, narrow spaces everywhere. Here is another narrow entrance leading into another room. There are several of these in every level. We are now heading up to another level, and you have to be very, very careful here. We are heading up these narrow, steep stairs. You have to be very, very careful. A quick warning, these caves are not for people who suffer with claustrophobia and anyone who does not like small confined spaces. You have to be very careful here. The floor, the ground is very, very uneven and unsafe. So you have to either hold on to the staircases or the pillars. Here we have another storage area where there are storage spaces underground created by the inhabitants to store their food and wine. Here is another underground hiding space. The city was abandoned by inhabitants in 1923. Some tunnels are still used today as storage areas. The tunnels are so narrow and the entrances are so low, you really have to watch your head. You need to bend down really low to get into some of these spaces. Again, not for people who suffer from claustrophobia. I do wonder the sizes of the people that lived here, what their body frame might have been. You have to really bend down low to get into these small narrow spaces and tunnels. The ceilings are very, very low here. I can imagine only a child being able to get into this small space, not a fully grown adult. We're now heading into another passage.